In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of how to do your entire takeoff inside of Quotr. So first of all, you're going to find yourself on the project page. You should create a new project that's relevant to, make a relevant name, pick the zip code it's in if you want to use the Quotr database. We don't support every zip code, so we'll match you to the one that's closest to your region. Now, once you've created a new project, you can then create a new estimate. This is where you upload your plans, and once you do that, you can just click create, and it will bring you into the editor like I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to jump into one that's already created. So what you will see is you'll see the plans on the left, and you'll see your Takeoff/Excel kind of sheet on the right. This is where all your items are listed, and you can see the cost detail as you work. So I'm going to go over briefly some of the tools that you have accessible in here. So let me jump to one of the plans that has an actual room setup in here. First of all, you have a manual count tool. You have a manual length tool, so you can track all your lengths, enter and measure it. You have a manual area tool, and you have a manual room tool. So these are all the manual tools. These just work as expected. You can draw areas to measure them, and you get the kind of quantities. But thankfully, since Quotr is AI powered, there's an easier way. You can go into the AI tools right here. So you go in this top bar and you click AI, and you can do all sorts of handy things in here. For example, one of the features is symbol detection. That's this button right at the top here. So what you can do is you can select an item you want to search for, you see there, and then you can select the whole search area, which in this case is my entire plan. So I search for that, and in just a moment, it finds every single item in the whole document that matches that item. So you can use this quickly to count all the lights in a region or something of the matter. So we'll come back to that in a moment, but let's go over some more of the AI tools that you can use. So another one has to do more with the roofing. So let's say I wanted to get the area of this roof minus the 4 vents here. One thing I could do is I could then manually measure it, which would take quite some time. But thankfully, since this is Quotr, there's actually a much easier way. So instead, I can just go to the AI tools, choose Area Infill, and what this does is it helps you select the area by looking at the lines in your drawing. So you can select your search area, and then just click to select the areas that you want. Now you can see it's selected a bit too much, so turn the accuracy up a little bit. And maybe I don't want the vents too, so there you go. And if I click again, and I click again to select these arrows, then I can just hit enter, and look at that. The whole area has been immediately calculated, and I can take it and assign it to an item if I want. So let's go back to the electrical tab for now. So I can go on here, and I can actually right-click these items, and I can continue a count if I wanted to add more items to the count, or I can actually just search for an item I'm looking for. So in this case, maybe like LED light. So I'll pick this one. And as you can see, it's immediately added with the quantity attached to it. So that is linked directly to this drawing. And if I resume count and I add 2 more, like this, when I hit enter, you can see it updates to 29 immediately. So this makes it very easy to kind of manage your takeoff, because whenever you're doing counts, they're linked directly to these elements on your right. And you can actually link multiple items to different counts, etc. So let's cover one of the different tools. So there's actually A very useful one is the text search. So I can actually look for, in this drawing, for example, bedroom. And then just select the area I want to identify. And then it'll try to find all the instances where the drawing says bedroom on it. As you can see, found 1, 2, and you can always click on it to see. This one doesn't look like it was a bedroom, so I can disable it. And if I submit, it just helps you kind of identify these rooms like this. And then you can assign those counts to something too. So that helps you if there's a bunch of things that are labeled, like a bunch of offices in a unit, you can search for just those and label them directly. Now, another thing you can also do is, let's jump to one of the architectural plans. There's tools in here for scanning your walls, actually. So if I select this search area and click submit, I can see that it detects the walls and it comes up with the lengths of the walls based in the drawing in only a few moments. This makes it a lot faster to not have to measure all your walls out manually. This one can take a little bit longer, but yeah, as you can see, it's got the whole wall detection with all your kind of percentages, and you can hit submit, and it will show you all the lengths of every single wall. And these can be assigned directly in the same manner to an item. So you can assign this to like paint or something like that and do it times height. So that's most of the AI tools. These are all built to kind of, it depends on your individual subcontractor workflow, which ones you would be using specifically. But that's why I'll include timestamps in this video to jump to the parts you want to see. So that's most of the AI tools. There's some other ones in here, namely door detection, window detection, and area scan that I won't directly cover, but they're kind of self-explanatory. They will look through and try to find windows, doors, etc. One of the other fundamental operations of Quotr is actually this AI agent in the top left. So this is actually very important because you can ask it how to use Quotr, or you can actually ask about what's on the drawing. So in this case, I could literally ask for how many specifications about the drawing. I could ask any sort of parts of this, and this AI agent will be able to go through and find it. So let me jump to one of the ones that has more going on in the document. Maybe the electrical. And I can kind of ask the same sort of thing. So the AI agent in this case is actually able to do the symbol detection and search for you. It's able to find as many as it can. So it's actually pretty accurate in terms of doing symbol detection and rough estimates in terms of the drawing. So you can ask it for lengths, you can ask it how many bedrooms are in the drawing. You can also ask it anything about like the user menu itself. You can ask where do I adjust. So I can see that it can give me some tips in terms of finding the measurement set scale option. You can also select a new chat. You can look into your chat history and you can see the results and stuff. This is a very helpful feature just to kind of work alongside yourself, especially when you're doing rough estimates and trying to get initial values on the document. So here's a few other kind of fundamentals of the Takeoff editor. So if you move your mouse to the left, you can see the PDF page viewer. And there's also a layer viewer layer. So like, let's go to the electrical real quick. And as you can see, there are two areas and there are two counts. So I can actually hide individual counts so they're not visible at the same time. So let's say I only wanted to focus on the counts, or maybe I didn't want to see this other count at all, the yellow one. I could just disable it so you can only view these at once. Just makes it cleaner, easier to read the document. There's also built-in PDF bookmarks in case your original PDF had that. This drawing scale up at the top here is set by your document using the AI. So you shouldn't need to worry about that at all. And here you can set specific parts of your thing like contingency, insurance tax, material tax, and overhead and profit. And this will change up your markup. Otherwise, your cost calculates completely automatically. You can also add items manually instead of doing it through the Takeoff process, through the PDF viewer right here. This can be if maybe you didn't have a corresponding element and maybe you wanted to add something just directly from the database. So if you click from the database, you can go search maybe your database for maybe something. So in this case, maybe I would go for, just for example, like I'm going to do this one for a moment. And you can see it appears here. You can also see the cost detail for these breakdowns by clicking a little label here. And it'll show you the counts and exact numbers. And you can change the markup and material rate of these individual items once you've added them. So when you're fully done, you can kind of view your items by trade. You can see them like this. You can view them by CSI. And then you can export your values directly into an Excel file. There's a few levels of detail. There's a supplier level, which has less detail versus like an internal one, which has the most detail. The PDF setting is to export your marked up pages with the counts on them. So this could be pretty helpful if you're sending this out to someone. So that's the general sense of how to do your Takeoff. I think we'll follow this up in the future with another video that details like more of the Takeoff process, but this is pretty much to walk you through all the tools.